In today's video, in the next several videos, we are going to look at several case studies that go over different products and specifically how to maximize the cash value in a whole life insurance policy. We're talking about the design, baby, one of my most favorite things when it comes to whole life insurance. How do I get it right though? Meaning, when we're going to design a policy, assuming you're paying the same dollar amount in to designs A, B, and C, which one do I pick? Or which one do I know that is set up for maximum cash value? So we're going to talk about that, and then we'll look at some numbers. So what we're going to look at, or to provide some context first, more importantly, policy setup. Here's the important piece. As we go through these case studies, we're going to look at one policy. So one product with one company, but three different ways it can be set up, or three different ways it can be designed. The dollar amount will be a nice clean number, $100,000 per year going into the whole life insurance policy. From an awareness standpoint, if I'm you, here's what I want to know in order to make sure that the policy is set up for maximum cash value, not maximum commission. What does the cash value look like when I compare the different options? And then what does the commission look like? We're going to go through the commission. This way you've got some disclosure there as well. The whole life insurance products that we'll analyze as we progress through these case studies will be a traditional whole life insurance policy, a pay to 100. So what this means is that the premium is literally due until you're 100 years old. Does that mean you have to pay into it until you're 100 years old? No. There's ways you can stop early, and you're going to see exactly that. We're not going to look at funding it until this individual is 100 years old. But then we'll also look at what's called a high early cash value policy, a HECV. This is a great option to maximize the cash value upfront. And then also a 10-pay policy. What this means, the 10-pay, is that the premium is payable for 10 years. So with that said, I've got a question for you. Does a 10-pay policy mean that you have to pay premiums for 10 years? Or that they are due for 10 years no matter what? Like a pay to 100 policy, the premium is due until you're 100 years old. But what do we mention about that? Do you have to pay into it until you're 100? No. So with a 10-pay policy, you could pay into it for 4 or 5 years if you'd like, a short period of time. It does have to be set up correctly in order to do that, but you are not forced or required to pay into it for the full 10 years. But that's a fun side note on the topic of policy design. So when we look at the policy setup, here we go. Option A will be a 100% premium policy and 0% PUA rider. PUA stands for paid up additions rider. We're going to talk about this in just another minute here. But option A, we've got 100% premium. Option B, we've got 50% premium and then 50% PUA rider. And then option C, a 10% premium and 90% PUA rider. So if you're looking at that and saying, what on earth does that mean? Like, I think of a life insurance policy, I just have a premium to deal with. Here's what it means. So a lot of people aren't aware of this, is that if you're paying money into a policy, so our dollar amount is how much? We've got $100,000 per year in this example. And if that number, when you look at it, you say, hey, that's just way too high, you can chop a zero off and the same concept applies. So if you're funding a policy at $100,000 per year, you can just take a policy where you pay that $100,000 per year toward premium. That's what most people do when you look at whole life insurance. However, here's the fun part. You, the policyholder, can actually choose where your money goes. It can go toward the premium or toward this PUA, which again stands for paid up additions rider. Premium dollars result in less cash value. For example, when we look at a traditional policy, what you'll notice is that the premium dollars, when I say less cash value, it's a whole lot less. The first year, and second for that matter, give you zero in cash value. So if you take option A, just to illustrate this, if you're paying $100,000 per year with a traditional whole life insurance policy, and 100% of that $100,000 is directed toward the premium, you'll see zero in cash value. Nothing to show for it, especially when we look at the guaranteed values. We are going to look at both the non-guaranteed and guaranteed values in the following case studies. But option A would give you nothing right out of the gates. Whereas this PUA rider, whatever the dollar amount is that you pay toward that PUA rider, typically 90 to 95% of it shows up in cash value in the first year. Then it begins compounding and we see our money quickly recapture the lost 5 to 10% there. You'll see it when we go through the numbers. But with these different options, 100% means 100% of that $100,000 goes toward the insurance premium. And with a traditional policy, I would see zero show up in cash value. If it's option B, what that means is of the premium, you would have how much? $50,000, and then how much toward your PUA rider? Well, 50% would be the other $50,000. And if it's a 10% premium, which is often about as low as you can go, especially with a lot of the major mutuals, some smaller companies allow you to go lower than that, by the way. The lowest we've ever gotten it is right around 3 to 3.5%. But what that would look like is this. 10% means $10,000 is directed toward the premium. And then if it's 90% PUA, you guessed it, $90,000 toward the paid up additions rider. And why I really like this is because it makes a policy very flexible. You can set up a policy where you're billed for the premium only and then add additional funds to PUAs at your discretion. This way, I don't feel like I'm locked into that $100K per year payment. Otherwise, if I can't pay, I'm going to be stressed out all the time. Like, no, we don't want that. Let's try and avoid it. So we're going to look at these different designs in the next video. We'll look at the traditional policy, then the following, the higher the cash value product, and then we'll look at the 10-pay policy in the third case study. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please let us know if you did, and if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And as always, I hope this helps. Thanks so much. Hey guys, Steve here with IBC Global. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you're interested in a whole life insurance policy and you'd like to work with our company in setting it up, please visit our website, ibcglobalinc.com. We would love to work with you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And as always, I hope this helps.